The moon barely pierced through the thick clouds as Masha returned home. Her old wooden house on the outskirts of the village creaked with every gust of wind. It was past midnight, and she was exhausted after a long shift at the cafe. Shedding her coat, Masha turned on the living room light and put the kettle on. The silence of the village usually felt cozy, but tonight, something was off. She noticed it when she approached the window to draw the curtains. In the glass's reflection, a shadow flickered, a tall, gaunt figure with unnaturally long arms. Masha froze. She lived alone, and the nearest neighbor was half a kilometer away. Slowly turning, she scanned the room. Empty. Her heart pounded, but she convinced herself it was just her tired mind playing tricks. The kettle whistled, startling her. Laughing at her nerves, she headed to the kitchen. But as she passed the window, she caught movement again. This time, the shadow was closer, almost pressed against the glass. Masha spun around, but outside there was nothing, just the bare branches of the old oak swaying in the wind. She yanked the curtain shut, trying to steady her breathing. "It's just the wind," she whispered, but her voice trembled. To distract herself, Masha turned on the TV. The screen flickered, showing an old movie, but the sound cut out abruptly. Instead, a low, raspy whisper came through the speakers. "Open the window!" Masha switched off the TV, her hands shaking. The silence was unbearable now. She grabbed her phone to call a friend, but there was no signal. Then the house lights flickered and went out. Darkness swallowed everything, and in that darkness, Masha heard a scratching sound, like someone clawing at the glass. She turned on her phone's flashlight and crept toward the window. The curtain swayed, though there was no draft. Trembling, Masha pulled the fabric aside. A figure stood outside, its face hidden by a hood, but its eyes glowed red. It didn't move, just stared straight at her. Masha screamed and stumbled back, dropping her phone. The flashlight went out, plunging the house into pitch black. The scratching at the window turned to knocking, then stopped. The silence was worse. Masha huddled in a corner, clutching a kitchen knife she'd grabbed. She didn't know how much time passed when the light suddenly came back on. The window was closed, the curtains neatly drawn, no sign of anything. Masha forced herself to check the house. Everything was in place. Even her phone lay on the floor undamaged. She tried to convince herself it was a dream, a hallucination from exhaustion. But as she went to bed, she noticed a thin scratch on the window pane, long like it was made by a claw. And under her pillow was a note that hadn't been there before. In jagged handwriting it read, "I'll be back tomorrow." Masha didn't sleep that